What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to the 10 Minute Mailbag, the MLB The Show series where I take your questions from YouTube and my Discord, which you should join, and I answer them in just about 10 minutes. We're going to have a ton of questions next week with all the Diamond Dynasty news coming soon this week, and then the fact that the game drops on early release next week. I can't believe we made it. I'm so excited. But for now, let's focus on these questions. I got them queued up and ready to go, so let's get to it. Kenny, why are you on this very random page in the MLB The Show inventory? You'll see soon. Don't you worry. This is called a spoiler alert. But we're going to start with a question completely unrelated to this, just an FYI, and we'll get going. So in 3, 2, 1, timer will be right there. Begin! Our first question comes from Scott from the Discord. Scotty doesn't know. That's his name, and that's why he's asking the question. It may not be this year for online franchise, but with the focus on reworking the CPU logic and subsequent fine-tuning of the new changes, could that be a prelude to reintroducing online franchise in the next couple of years? Boy, I hope so, because a lot of people want it, and I want people to get what they want from this game. Online franchise works in other stuff. I'm in an online franchise, an online dynasty, I suppose you'd call it, in College Football 25. We're having a great time. We have all chosen a team from the MAC, and it's just a bunch of mediocre teams and mediocre users playing against each other. I'm Bowling Green, by the way. Thank you for asking. But it's a blast, man. It's fun. Online franchise has the potential to be its entire own ecosystem. And I think, especially in the last year or so, SDS has realized it really needs to start listening and acting on the requests of the fan base. That's why sets and seasons are gone, because everyone spoke up. Now, the difference is, and I understand this, it's the thing a lot of folks don't like to talk about. Offline modes don't necessarily make MLB The Show or SDS or Sony money. There are no in-game transactions for it. And that is a fact, in terms of there being no in-game transactions. But I will counter with, and it doesn't completely offset what we're talking about here, I will counter with, if online franchise came back and the ability to play a franchise with your homies online was a real thing, I think that might encourage more people to purchase the game. So that's front-end sales, not like in-season sales, but it's still sales. So I hope it comes back. The ability to have a fully customizable season with your friends where you can make trades and have multi-year saves with your friends is super cool, and it's another layer of competitive when you think about it. It's not online competitive, you're not winning rewards for it, but it is competition against your buddies in like a controlled setting. So I think if the foundational changes SDS has announced that they made, if they work and are proven to work, that's when we'll start to see more of the bells and whistles in franchise mode. Potentially the online franchise. Though I think that is the biggest lift of all the potential options to add, because that requires, server strength. It requires a lot of bandwidth to build the bones of it. I don't know. I hope it comes back, because I'd even like to dabble. But we'll see. I think people are allowed to feel whatever they want to feel. But in terms of the franchise updates they announce, and yes, they don't have all the bells and whistles we want, I think we need to take one step back as us looking at it from a bird's eye view and be like, oh, I see why these changes are so important. And if they work, then we can get the stuff. Because I think if you just added all the crap on top of a franchise that doesn't have any good base, it would still be crap. You just have more crap to deal with. So they're shining up the stuff first. They're making it, work the way it should. That's my vantage point. But online franchise is something a lot of people want, and the more people who speak up about it, the higher chance there is to get it. Next question from Gavin Gilbert. With the confirmation of the cards in the early access packs, we can see a Nolan Ryan with a new series called The Last Ride. In the Power Creep, I see this as a really fun series to use with some potential big names. I agree. Who else outside of Nolan Ryan do you think could fit this new card series? So, I'm on the veteran page right now. This is why we've been here this whole time. It's not, in my head, The Last Ride doesn't replace the veteran series. It's not a one-to-one replacement. But I do think there can be some overlap here, where The Last Ride is going to signify, if we're taking it at face value, the final year of players' careers. This is where we can get like a Ken Griffey Jr. in his return to the Mariners, his final season. This is where we can get, sure, Cliff Lee on the Mariners. Is that where he ended his career? Great. It's going to be cards for players who ended their careers, and that's the season that's going to be representative of. Now, that could lead to some great things. You could argue, Yankee fan here, that Mike Mussina's greatest season, or one of his greatest seasons, was his final one. It was the only time he won 20 games in his career. And wins don't mean really anything, but still a monumental season for Mike Mussina in his last season. I could see that The Last Ride card being like in the 90s. But then there's going to be guys like maybe that Mariners Ken Griffey Jr. in his final season is like a gold. And he's in BR, which is cool. Or he's available early in the Power Creep, which is also cool. I agree with you wholeheartedly that The Last Ride, if utilized from Jump Street, especially early in the Power Creep, is going to be an awesome way to get our favorite players that we like to use with drastically different attribute spreads than what we're used to, and see them be utilized. This is what the Power Creep should be like. You know, let's go through these veterans. Who else could have really fun cards? Rafael Palmeiro, now that he's in the game, he'd be fun. David Ortiz late in his career. Really any of these guys. The fact that Josh Bell has a veteran card already is kind of funny to me. He is a veteran, but I wouldn't really put him in that bucket. Who else? Vinny Castilla certainly would fit for that. They really abandoned the veteran series. Dontrelle Willis. His veteran series was a 64. This could have also been his last ride card. Randy Johnson, the fact that this is a 64. Randy Johnson's last ride card. I really don't want to see Randy Johnson ever again in my entire life in this video game, but he'd fit. Trevor Hoffman. These are the types of cards I want to see. I also think these were kind of meme cards for the Moonshot event. I don't actually think Trevor Hoffman's final season was representative of a 64 overall, so maybe we get a silver, a gold, or even a low diamond of that. These are the things I want. Gary Sheffield would be super dope as a last ride card. This has the potential to be an incredibly fun, impactful series, and I agree with you wholeheartedly that if done right, it's going to work. So thank you, Gavin, for your question. Our last thing is not so much a question, but it is a comment I wanted to address from Walk-Off Grand Slam. Shout out to you for hitting a walk-off 4-bagger with 4 runs, with 3 ducks on the pond. We won't see a 99 card outside of the main collection until near the end of the year. I have a feeling asking for seasons to end will actually make more people unhappy because we won't even get any great cards till close to the end of the year. So, don't disrespect by this, but I'm 95% sure you're wrong. I don't know how long you've been playing MLB The Show. If you're a veteran of the series, then disregard what I'm about to say. But for any of you there who are relatively new to MLB The Show, and maybe, say, come from Madden, I don't know about 2K. Definitely Madden, though. Madden still is not releasing 99s. It's after the Super Bowl. That's the slowest, stupidest power creep that could ever exist. It's dumb, silly, stupid, dumb. MLB The Show typically drops their first batch of 99s right around the All-Star break, usually a little bit after. A little bit after the All-Star break. So we're talking August. Maybe late July. We also have to remember that not all 99s are created equal. You will get base level 99s, and then late in the year, you're going to get 99s that blow your doors off. So, while I see where you're coming from, I think the power creep is hands down more enjoyable than having 99s everywhere. I enjoy having 99s. I think there's nothing wrong with having 99s, and I like when they give a lot of types of players 99s. But you lose team building. Like internal team building. Like, I want to upgrade here, I want to tinker here, I want to, you'll lose that as a manager when it's all 99s, because it doesn't matter who you play, everybody's good. When there's the power creep, I enjoy, like, ooh, this guy is actually a marginal upgrade over here. I'm going to give this guy a shot, even though his contact's a little lower, his fielding is real good, and he improves my team. Like, for me, as someone who enjoys building a team, it's more enjoyable to play the power creep. Plus, 99s will be here while baseball is still being played. It's not like Madden. So if that's where you're coming from, I just wanted to let you know that's not the case. If you think August is still too late to get 99s, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's pretty much how it's always been. Ladies and gentlemen, next week will be the final 10-minute mailbag of MLB The Show 24. Oh my goodness, we made it. We made it through another game cycle. As always, let me know your thoughts. Give me your questions down below. I am so excited for this brand new game cycle with everybody. Thank you guys. Love you guys. See you next time.